저기다. 이렇게 여기다 넣어줘. 백화차. 이게 뭐냐면 100가지의 꽃이 들어가서 만든 차거든요. 이렇게 백화차. 그다음에 이거는 쑥꽃 인삼차.
쑥꽃? 인삼꽃차?
여기 인삼꽃차. 지금 드시는 거 다 꽃차예요.
네.
플라워 티야. 네. 그래서 이걸 마시는 이유가 뭐냐면 다음 주에는 티 문화. 각 나라의 티 문화. 한국은 녹차, 혹시 티 뭐 마셔요? 티? 각 나라에서? 네. 그거 있으면 스페셜 티 있으면 좀 알려주면 좋을 것 같아요.
우리나라 인삼차.
우리가 녹차.
대추차.
광주에서는 순살차.
쌍화차에 달걀 자체가?
That's gonna be strong tea.
근데 진짜 맛있는 티야 이거. 인삼 맛이 나요. 진생 맛이 나요.
인삼꽃차. Did you write the 인삼?
I only have to pick one.
쑥꽃 인삼꽃차.
쑥꽃.
이게 사람들마다.
여기 옆에다가 놔두니까 좀 도와줘. 쑥을 뭐라 하지?
쑥? 쑥인 영어로?
Because it's double S. I don't trust.
I like the little container.
It's double S.
Just leave them right here.
무걸트래. 무걸트. 오케이.
The insang kotcha is mugwort.
And ginseng flower.
Mugwort and
쑥꽃 is like
ginseng.
아니야, 이거는 this is separate. Oh, it's together, but it's 쑥꽃. 쑥꽃.
이거 한번 찍어서 인스타 올려야겠다.
Jasmine? Do you mean jasmine?
That's it.
뭐? 어떤 저지?
Mugwort and jasmine?
아니, 인삼.
ginseng flower. ginseng flower.
Standby.
나가면서도 스탠바이도 있지 않는 거야.
So darling.
와이프부터 갈게.
Hello. Welcome to Hello Korea. Here's your daily quiz reminder.
오, 브랭크. 어떡해.
Here is your daily quiz reminder, listeners. You still have a chance to answer our quiz question and send those answers into pound 9870 for your chance to win bragging rights and one of our awesome prizes. Now, earlier in the show, as we know, we were talking about what we're doing on our segment, What Are You Doing? Last week we talked about marriage traditions, and this week we're actually going to kind of talk about love stories, because I do know that listeners out there will have some interesting stories to share with us. So we really want to hear from you, pound 9870, and we really want you to tune in on our channel GFN on YouTube so we can check us out. And we have actually an easy kind of quiz today. It's about a word in the lexicon of dating. We want to know, what is the Korean word that refers to having a relationship with someone in a natural way of meeting someone. Your choices are A, 인만추, B, 아만추, or C, 자만추. If you know the answer to that, pick up your phone, send us a text right now to pound 9870, but do keep in mind, a short message will cost you 51, a longer message will cost you 101. But sending in the right answer, you have a chance to win some lovely prizes. These include a gift certificate to Biggo Women's Hospital and a 10,000 won gift card to Bakery Eriksson in Yanggwang. Up next is part 3 and 4, where you and we answer the question, what are you doing? Let's meet together live on NodTube on channel GFN. Keep it tuned here to GFN, 98.7 FM in Gwangju, 93.7 FM in Yeosu.
Sorry, where's the tea? 누르면 오케이. 뜨거워.
오케이.
Throughout history, humans have been curious about the world around them. We are almost always doing, seeing, making, or thinking about something Our curious nature leads us to ask our friends, family, neighbors, and acquaintances, what are you doing? And of course, you can join us to find out. In the studio, I'm your host, Kayla Nichols, and welcome now to What Are You Doing? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I really want to ask Frank, what are you doing? You look like you're a naughty child at the end of the table there. Moving your cup around, touching the tea.
I'm being careful because of today's topic.
Love, that kind of topic, or it is. It's the end of spring, but it's still semi-springtime. I feel like love can still be in the air. And listeners, not that it's a dating show or anything, but I'm just saying, if you happen to tune in to Channel GFN and happen to see a handsome face at the end of the table and think, 알고 싶어요.
Fine boy.
Pound
correct.
9870, press 1 for Frank, press 2 for Elvis. No.
3?
Press 3 for Sophia. No, Sophia and I are taken. It's just you two. We're going to auction you off, though. Because, pair you up for...
Elvis is taken.
Right. And our PD has been super nice to us, as well as, the engineers and the writer. They have, of course, for springtime, prepared some beautiful, amazing flower tea, which I love tea, and I love flower teas. So we have 2 types of tea, but I don't see the other teapot, which is why I started with Frank. What did you do with the other teapot?
I just left it to get ready.
Okay, so in the teapot closest to Sophia and I, we have 백화자 tea. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. And in the teapot that was closest to Frank, which has now left the table, we have 쑥꽃 and 인생꽃차, which is mugwort and ginseng flower tea. Mm-hmm. Okay. So those are 2 teas that I'm very excited to try.
Yeah, so the 백화차 is, there's 100 kinds of flowers in there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Really? I can't mention them all, but they're beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yes. Which is why I didn't mention what kinds of flowers, because I'm assuming there's probably tons that I don't know. There's like 100 kinds. So if you want to check that out, please go onto Channel GFN on YouTube, and you can actually see we've got tea, we've got an assortment of cookies, which I promise not to eat all by myself. That's right. And we're talking about love today. Elvis, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Like funny enough, 저 오후에 시험이거든요. 근데 왠지 기분이 좋아요. I just feel good. But I'm having some.
왜냐면 우리 사랑 말해요 오늘. Okay, and Sophia, nice to have you back. What are you doing, and how are you doing?
I'm doing great. And I'm with my hubby outside today as well.
We want the dish.
Oh, no.
I haven't got my 100 cows either, so don't feel bad at all.
We got that on eBay, so they're coming.
Let's wait for a while.
eBay cows, are they about this big? Made of paper?
But the question is, from who will you get the cows from?
I get them from myself, because I respect myself, and I know I am worth 1,000 cows.
Yeah.
But not 1,000 tigers. Okay. Listeners, What Are You Doing is meeting listeners in multiple ways where our voices and music come out on the radio. The show is also being live streamed on NawTube. Check out Channel GFN. You can come and join us every Wednesday on air 11 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. But on NawTube, we go all the way till noon. So even though on air it kind of cuts off a little bit earlier, go on to NawTube so you can check out the last of the action, adventure, and drama, right?
Yep.
Don't forget, though, please click like and subscribe to Channel GFN so you won't miss a thing, right?
Yeah.
All right, Sophia?
매주 수요일에 11시에서 12시 GFN이 라디오뿐만 아니라 너튜브로도 여러분을 찾아갑니다. What are you doing? 이름하여
Morning!
우리가 뭐 하는지 궁금하신 분들은 너튜브 검색창에 채널 GFN을 검색하셔서 지금 라이브 스트리밍을 확인하세요.
All right, so how's everyone feeling? We're all feeling good? We're feeling ready to talk about love?
Now that you asked that, I feel
Nervous?
kind of on edge. Yeah.
I feel like we need to have some tea then. If you're on edge, tea is very soothing. It's very calming. So would you like to try the 100 flowers or the mugwort and ginseng flower tea?
I think the maggot and ginseng will be a little bit stronger because of the ginseng.
Yes, probably.
So start with the
With the 100,
100
okay.
flowers.
yeah.
All right. I'm not going to burn myself or anyone else. Going to just pour a tiny bit. I really like this teapot, listeners. It's like a self-straining teapot
Right.
without burning anyone. And listeners, if you go online quickly, we have these beautiful coasters. So we're like full on proper having the tea here. Beautiful coasters, beautiful white mugs. I'm going to take my mask off just a little bit to smell. Oh, that smells good. Although it does smell a bit like hay.
Hay. So hay is one of the flowers.
No, hay, like grass. That's
Yeah.
dry hay. If you've ever walked, listeners, outside in a field, especially after they've cut the grass, it has that bit of a smell to it. So I'm very excited. I love tea. Last week, as we know, we were talking about marriage traditions from each country. Canada really has no big traditions. Basically, whatever anybody wants
To do.
kind of goes. It's from as strange as getting married to on a glacier to having your wedding in a church. Like, it's just all over the place. But both of you have some very interesting wedding traditions that we talked about.
Yeah.
But before we marry someone, we should probably go on a proper date without stalking them first to make sure that they're appropriate for the family, in my opinion.
It's not stalking, it's spying.
Oh, sorry.
Fine.
Be specific.
Right. To be specific, listeners, it is not stalking, according to Elvis. It is spying. Not sure there's so much distinction between the two.
According to me, it's getting to know.
Oh, getting to know
Your in-laws.
where one part of that equation has absolutely no idea they're being watched.
Yep.
But that's spying, not stalking, according to Elvis.
Yeah. Exactly.
So today we're going to kind of share personal stories of love or dating experiences, weird, wacky, funny, touching, horrible. We want to know it all. And if listeners, you have a dating experience that you think ought to be shared, I would love to hear that as well. I've had weird ones, like just eye-opening, what is going on here? This isn't actually happening kind of experiences. I got bit once. That was fun.
What?
Yeah, like, I don't know, okay, so I will start then, apparently, listeners. Here we go. It was when I was in university, and I had met a gentleman from another university at a mutual bar in town. And when we had gotten together the next day for, like, a lunch, because he was like, can I have your number? Then he called the next day, and I was like, okay. When we were having the lunch, I knew that probably wouldn't be a very good fit, if you will. It's not that we just didn't really get on. I didn't really see us going anywhere. And then he made kind of a rude comment, and I was like, I've had enough. And I was like, bite me. And he just leaned over and bit me. And I was like,
What?
all right, that's the end. And I just left. I was like, what do you say to that when someone just leans over and bites you? Because
Bite me.
because at the time that was like a go away, like, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah,
So I was like,
exactly.
bite me. And he was like,
Literally.
and then it was like,
Dang.
it left teeth marks, top and bottom impression teeth marks. And then, like, of course, some of the guys from my dorm saw, and they were like, oh, let's go lynch him. And I was like, no, it's just so bizarre, and I don't want anything ever to do with him. Like, who does that? Who literally takes someone...
I think
That's
he's the sole
weird.
reason people say men are dogs.
Kind of.
Sure. But I don't know if he was having mental problems, because I don't know anyone who would just lean over and bite a stranger.
Right.
Wow.
It's just not normal. So, yeah, I never talked to him again after that.
Yeah.
He didn't come to our school again, obviously, after that. But, there are touching love stories. There are weird love stories, like being bitten. There's, weird ones, like people get ghosted, people go on blind dates, people, end up, like, my parents met and married in 6 months. There's, they met in university, and they had a mutual friend, and my dad asked their mutual friend to wallpaper his dorm room, I think.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do it. The mutual friend couldn't do it, but he introduced my mom, who said she would help him. And I swear to God, listeners, I'm not even lying. It's been 40 some odd years they've been married now, and they still fight about wallpaper and decorating. I'm not even kidding. Like, growing up, it would be like, oh, let's redecorate. And I'd think, oh, God, not again. Just paint. But nope, it's got to be wallpaper.
Yeah,
Which
right.
way do you wallpaper? How do you butt it together? No. That's why I hate wallpaper. No wallpaper ever. So, listeners, if you're just joining us, we are talking about dating and dating stories. Let's take a quick break. We'll have some tea, we'll have some cookies, and I want to hear some stories from Elvis, Frank, and Sophia about dating. And I want to hear from you, listeners, so pound 9870. Let's listen to a track by Tiger JK and Punchy. It's called 첫사랑. Who wants to go first?
Oh.
Hey!
두근.
Hey, it cannot be so bad as my story about being bitten.
댓글도 있어요.
Sorry?
유튜브 이거 체크.
Oh. It cannot be half as bad as having been bitten on a first date.
On a first date?
Well, because
Yeah.
I'd only met him in the bar. We weren't dating.
Right,
It was like,
yeah.
oh.
뭐요?
뭔 소리야?
뭐 떨어졌어?
뭐야?
이거 따라달라.
네네, 따라주세요.
Oh, we have a lot of... Oh, let's turn that volume down. 펭수 아빠, 안녕하세요.
안녕하십니까?
오랜만이에요.
He says, my last love was Kastrina, whom I met in China, Tianjin, and she was a Swiss lady. Ooh, international couple. Still I miss her, so sometimes I can't sleep, or even I slept. It doesn't feel cool enough. Ah, a missed connection, a lost love. That is difficult, right?
펭수 아빠.
Maybe Pengswa, but maybe Kastrina is still single and you can reach out and make a connection. If not for anything romantic, but at least for friendship, so you can see how they're doing, right?
Why not romantic? Why not?
A Lewis Han has said.
여기 프랭크의 첫사랑 이야기가 궁금하다고.
저는 가만히 있으면
우리
되고.
다음에 프랭크의 첫사랑 얘기를 한번 풀어봅시다.
한번 봐볼게요. 누군지.
저는 가만히 있으면 되고.
안 돼.
아, 엘비스
I
있지.
think
없어요.
I think
Yes.
6th grade elementary school. By the way, Pengsuapa, 6th grade is definitely too young to have someone 3 years older than you saying, I love you and will you marry me? That's like sketchy stalker behavior. She would have been in grade 10? No, grade 8. 3 years older?
3 years older.
Grade 9?
Grade 9.
Ish? Like first year of high school?
Yeah, grade 9.
To a grade 6? That seems wrong.
Sorry.
Definitely too young.
펭수아빠님 여기다가 지금 러브스토리 풀으셨네 지금. 빨리 누가 한번 빠르게 한번 읽어주세요 지금.
Middle
Love
school
story.
breakup. Those are 힘들어요.
Louis Han.
Fighting.
He or she? Like, he.
That's
he
her.
That's my hubby.
He's out there.
Right there.
We're gonna get off.
첫사랑. 자 뭐지 지금 뭐지?
뭐지? 첫사랑?
엘비스 연애 해봤어요?
어디서?
어?
어디서?
아 모르지 그건. 어디서 했어?
전문가.
전문가? 그러면은 지금 유튜브에 지금 펭수아빠가 본인의 러브스토리를 지금 막 적어주셨어. 한번 읽어드려.
그래.
제가?
응,
Are
엘비스가.
we ready?
레디네. 잠깐만.
Kanjiwa. We are back, listeners. That track was by Tiger JK and Punchy. It was called 첫사랑. If you are just joining us here today on Hello Korea's What Are You Doing? We are talking about love. We're going to talk about love. We're going to talk about love stories, weird ones, special ones, epic ones, strange ones, terrible ones. It doesn't matter. We want to talk everything about our love stories. I've already shared with you my weird tale of being bit on a first date. It can't get a whole lot worse than that, right? Hopefully it doesn't get worse than that or weirder than that. So I'm interested in Frank's. I'm going to pick a cookie, listeners, and have my tea and a cookie while I listen to Frank's tale of love.
Yeah.
You gotta say it loud. Tale of love.
Tale of
And I'm going with chocolate because I feel like it's going to be a really good tale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
And it'd be a really brief one.
So I should eat fast. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
저는 얘기하자면 뭐 사랑의 히스토리 그런 거 없는데 약간 참고로 제가 연애해 본 적이 없습니다.
완전 애기구만.
애기라고 하는 게 아니라
네, 경험 없으면 애기죠.
예 맞아요. 근데 아까 약간 시청자 중에서 루이스 님이 제가 첫사랑 얘기 해달라고 했는데 저는 연애는 안 해봤지만 근데 사랑은 하죠.
짝사랑 그런 건
짝사랑은 아니고 진짜로 좋아하는 거예요. 지금
지금
I feel like you guys are now fighting over his
No.
love story.
지금 짝사랑
아니고
짝사랑 또 괜찮은데 사랑하고 있다고?
예, 근데 아직은
아니 근데 이 기회로 그 사람 듣고 있으면은
지금
네.
맞아요.
그렇죠.
가끔씩 이 방송 들어요.
Do you were like, how old were you again? Like your first love?
It's now.
No?
Oh, now!
It's happening now.
This was like, listeners. Yay!
지금
귀여워.
시청하고 있을 수도 있어요.
네.
오.
그래서 고백.
시험 보고 있을 수도 있어요.
He should speak his heart now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make
Okay,
use of
if
this
you're
opportunity.
listening, remember, if you're listening, 시작. Speak your heart.
Speak my heart.
Oh.
To her.
There,
Yeah.
Yes, of course, not to us, to her.
일단은 시험 잘 보고 사랑해요.
All right, listeners, that's pound 9870. Unfortunately, Frank is out. There's only Elvis left.
Till now, we never know.
No dating for Frank. Frank has a love that he has just confessed to. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Hopefully, she messages us pound 9870
Yeah, really looking
for a
forward to that.
reply.
I'm not expecting.
She may not be listening, but if she is,
We are doing exams. That's right.
oh right.
Busy.
But she knows that you're on air, so maybe she's like,
She knows, yeah.
그래.
Oh.
I'm excited.
She's like, 우리 Frank.
Yeah. 우리 예쁜. I was gonna say, wait, that's 우리 예쁜 달. You're not a 예쁜 달. 예쁜 남. No,
오빠.
that's 오빠.
오빠는 아니죠.
Would you want to be
동갑이지.
called oppa? To be honest,
But still they call you.
do you want someone to call you oppa?
Not really.
No?
Doesn't it feel weird? As a
Really?
No, instead of oppa, this how does the Korean say like
여보?
자기?
자기야.
자기.
That's so sweet.
That's when I really want to annoy my husband.
That means oppa makes you feel too adult, like you feel
Yeah,
like,
it feels weird. Oppa is an older brother. Why are you calling your boyfriend oppa?
which is confusing in Korea. Like oppa means the two things, right?
Right.
Yeah, we have a different meaning of.
Sure.
Yeah,
Just,
I call my hubby oppa.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
like in Canada, you wouldn't go around calling your brother, "Hey, baby," or
Yeah, no.
so like
Hey,
to call right. Then people would be like, "Isn't he your brother?" Yeah, I call him honey.
or boo. Hello, hi, boo.
Hey, babe. Hey, boo. No, that's
치카피.
I prefer
So-
chagi than
자기야.
oppa. Yeah.
sometimes. I mean, there's lots of them. There's what 여보, 자기야,
마누라.
마누라,
Hey.
남편.
남편.
But that's for married people.
Yeah.
Soon, are you working on your chickens and your cows? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Let's move then to Elvis.
I was trying to avoid this.
There's no avoidance.
There's no avoidance.
No.
자, 저는 이제 첫사랑은 짝사랑일 거예요. 좀 어디 초등학교 다녔을 때, 초등학교 다녔을 때 우리 집 옆 저게 the opposite side of our house, there lived a very beautiful girl.
Oh.
그리고
초콜릿 먹고 있어요.
It's so sweet I had to stop eating my cookie.
그래서 그때는 뭐 고백할 마음 그런 거 없었는데 일단 일단 그 여자를 너무 좋아했던 것 같아요. 그래서 우리 엄마를 무서워해서 우리 엄마는 진짜 무서운 사람이에요. 그래서 연애 얘기도 안 해봤어요, 엄마랑. 근데 그때 그 여자 집에서 그 채소, 야채 이런 거 파는 데 있어서 항상 거기 사러 샀어요. So I will go there to buy vegetables always.
That's so cute.
See her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's better than like pulling her hairs or stalking her from behind the bushes. Oh, sorry. Spying on her from behind the bushes.
It's fine.
And you know something, as he said, mostly there people don't talk to parents about their 이혼의 생활.
Right.
그렇게 부모님한테 그런 말 하진 않아요, 사실은.
지금까지도 안 해봤어요.
생각해 부모님 알고 싫어요. They don't want to know.
아니,
Not yet. 싫어.
그냥
too young.
말하기 귀찮아서 아마.
귀찮지요. 부끄럽고 민망하고 다.
그냥
혼자.
들을 얘기는 그 우리 할머니한테 I want great grandchildren 이렇게. 할머니 이렇게 말해서.
Right.
그렇게 들으면
So that leaves the ever beautiful Sophia. Please tell us about your first love. Oh,
My first love.
Sophia Nakano. Come on.
I was gonna
It was
talk
Lewis
about.
for sure, right?
I was talking about Lewis and my love
Okay,
story.
forget your first love. It's not important because the love story between you and your husband, who is right out there, I want to know I want to know all the details. The ones where he's
Sure.
like, "No, don't say. Come on, no, cannot see anything. Nothing."
Well, we went to same university, but he graduated like way earlier than me, like
Oh,
2-3 years.
so is he older
before.
than you?
Yeah, he is 10 years older than me. Yes. And but we had Korean Student Association. That's why I get to know him. I
Right.
got to know him with all the other graduated people,
맞아요.
students, and and we were friends for like really good friends for 2 years, I think. Yeah, 2 years. We yeah. And we were like really close friends for 2 years. We watched movie, just two of us.
Oh,
And people would make fun of us. They're like, "Oh, you guys must be dating. Like you
Yeah.
have to tell us
oh,
if
you
you're
mean
dating."
like you were just friends?
Yeah,
With-
friends,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, got it.
But we were just friends. We didn't lie. Like we were,
Sure.
yeah. And then we would just go watch movie, go out for dinner, and like go to amusement park.
Right.
And, yeah. And I was actually seeing someone. and and he, my ex-boyfriend, he was going to school in UCLA, which is
In the States.
in the States.
Yeah.
So we were long distance, and things didn't go really well. And then
Because Lewis was there.
actually, you're right, because my ex-boyfriend was very jealous, and he was very protective of me, and so he was like, "Oh, like, why do you need to go play with Lewis every day? Like every single time you go out, you're with
Because
Lewis."
we know what Lewis's intentions were. Okay, listeners, we need to take a station break. We also need to take another song break, but go on to Notube to finish Sophia's story and stay tuned for more as we have more stories coming up. Let's listen to a track by Sister. It's called 날 사랑했겠어. 하겠어.
하겠어.
Oh, so it was like, Lewis! Totally stole you!
Wow.
I love the shrugging. What?
He's an inspiration to all of us.
Sneaky. That is why you
초등학생 때밖에 얘기할 게 없어?
그러니까 최근 걸 얘기해야지.
실망스러운데 여기스 초등학생밖에 얘기할 게 없었단 말이에요.
저 얘기는
Boys are
안 끝났죠.
sneaky.
엘비스는
얘기 안 끝났어요.
얘기하면 하루 종일 그냥 밤샐 수도 있어요.
진짜로.
근데 왜 얘기를 안 해?
전문가니까.
최근에 이렇게 한국에서부터 이렇게 얘기해야 우리가 이렇게, 연애하면서 문화 비교도 되고 그러죠.
부럽다. 엘비스.
케냐에선 이랬는데 한국에서 이렇게 하더라. 이렇게 얘기를 해줘야지.
근데 루안다에서 연애 본 적이 없는데? 한 번도.
한국에서도 없잖아.
예.
남편과 자기.
아,
그러니까 이제 에비스랑 얘기를 해줘요. 캐나다에서 이랬는데 한국에서는 이렇게 됐다 이렇게 그런 얘기.
맞아.
약간 연애학원 다녀야겠네요.
알았어. 비즈니스 아이디어. 누나 연애학원 그거.
연애학원.
합시다.
교육.
그거는 이 누나부터.
아니야, 나는 알아서 잘하고 있어.
아니
아니요.
우리는 그
교육.
교육 줄 거예요.
나보고
그러니까
추천하라고?
우리는 돈 받는 거예요.
아, 뭔 소리야?
뭔 소리 하고 있어 지금.
항상 다 같이 하자고 이 얘기 아니에요?
아니고 우리는 운영하고 프랭크 다니고.
아 프랭크 다니고.
두 사람한테 교육 받는 거야?
Sneaky, sneaky. Very sneaky, sneaky. 팽수아빠, fighting! 팽수아빠 says that his last one was Katrina, and now he has no girlfriend. So.
Oh,
You have to put yourself
in China, right?
7604.
Oh my gosh.
It is true. You're
Who
beautiful.
is? 프랭크는 순자.
순진한 남자인 것 같아.
Innocent boy. Yes, I'm innocent.
Kojima,
누구시죠?
Kojima. I mean,
1105.
110.
yeah, it
Thank you for saying the truth.
그 이따가 방송 그 문자로 온 거니까 이따가 방송 시작하면 얘기해줘야지.
아,
유튜브 아니고 이거는 문자로 온 거니까. 알았죠? 시작하면은 그 얘기해줘요.
혹시나.
도둑남.
도둑나.
도둑남.
아니.
맞아요.
그래.
오,
이거.
네, 저 사랑은 마지막 사랑이 남편이에요.
I think
역시
the
윤희 이야기 하니까 뭐가 많이
no, the PD님. PD님 wrote it. I think.
Yes, 3 the Texas.
그래.
아니지. 엘비스. 아직 스토리 아직 끝이
You're
아니야.
not done yet.
그거 나와서 그치.
Seriously, my first love was in kindergarten.
Oh.
I met a boy who went to my elementary school.
아 지금 프랭크 연애 가르쳐준다고.
누가?
누구?
아,
프랭크 형이 가르쳐줄게요.
누가?
연애하는 방법 알려준대요.
밖에서.
아.
7 years from now, someone will be like, Frank is the dodong.
Is she in high school? Because if
좀 두려워요.
Frank is the people who say the beautiful ones are yet to be born.
Yeah.
no, it's Frank gets older, but his girlfriends stay the same age.
Right?
You know, some people, mostly Rwanda, they usually say, they will ask them, why don't you get married? Like, why don't you date?
Hmm.
No, the beautiful ones are yet to get born.
Oh my
That's-
gosh.
So they will be having all
They're
those
so young.
excuses. I didn't find a beautiful one yet, but there are ladies around him.
It feels creepy. Like,
Don't think of it in that way.
근데 왜
are you guys
아직
drinking your tea, by the way?
고백 안 했어요?
고백?
그 여자한테.
방금 했죠.
방금 했어요.
제대로
그러니까.
그 어떻게 하는지 가르쳐줘.
어떻게 하는지?
가르쳐주고
근데 알게 된 지 얼마 안 됐어요.
친구 되지?
상관없어요.
맞아.
한 달?
한 달 is not that short.
Yeah, it's okay. 한 달 is okay.
예.
한 달인데 매일 만났어?
자주 만났죠.
자주 만났죠.
아, 그래?
근데 그 여자도 호감을 갖고 있는 것 같아요. He thinks she likes you.
Yeah, that's the thing.
A bit? Yeah.
지금 솜 타는겨?
뭔가 서투리. 아, 이런 질문 받으니까 너무 부담스러운데?
kokjungma, Frank. Even if she doesn't like you, we love you. So.
Thank you. 어머니. 어머님이 아직
Just because I am actually probably old enough to be your mom.
You know, I calculated.
Is the other tea not done yet, or you just don't
Right.
want to give it? I think it's done, right? That's for you too. I'll have more
I
flower
think
tea.
this one is stronger.
어떻게 차를 마시면서 하니까 좀 뭔가 이렇게 릴렉스 되면서 느끼가 술술 나온가요?
보면서 사랑스러운 느낌이 들어요.
어.
네. 저는 꽃 받은 적이 없어요.
어. 아, 자꾸 이렇게 프랭크는 이렇게 짠하게 자꾸 들리지?
왜 제가요?
어. 연애도 안 해봐, 꽃도 안 받아봐.
안 준 적이도 없고.
줘본 적은 선물해본 적은 있어?
I think Frank is 22.
어.
Right?
졸업생.
You're 24.
졸업생 때 선물 줬어?
네.
Korean age?
근데 나한테 주진 않았어?
Korean age, so you're 24 international age, right?
어, 다른 사람이
Is
나한테
he
주진 않았어?
22 Korean age?
약간 꽃 주는 것은 저는
So he's
소중하다고
20
생각해요.
international age.
소중하다고 생각해요.
소중하다 이렇게 보는 게
약간
just turned 21, I think. Yeah.
누구나한테 주는 게 아니라고
24 in
아,
Korea.
꽃은 아무한테나 주는 게
So it
아니라
would be 22
왜?
꽃?
in Canada? 26.
약간 마음이 있어서
41
주는 거
international age.
아닌데?
I don't
flowers?
내가 프랭크가 왜 연애를 못하는지 알았어.
준비, 준비,
네.
준비. We are back, listeners. That track was by IU and Oh-hyuk. It was called 사랑이 잘. If you are just joining us here on What Are You Doing, we're talking about love stories. We're talking about our first loves. We're talking about current loves. We're talking about how Sophia got together with her husband, stolen away. We do have some messages that came in. Our first message comes from listener 3366. And 3366 says what?
나의 첫사랑은 마지막 사랑인 남편이에요. 여보 사랑해.
That is so beautiful. My first and last love was my husband. I would like to say that. I'll say he's my last love, although I do love my children. So I don't know about first, right? We also have a message from listener 6523.
저에게 첫사랑은 옛날 이야기네요.
Lots of first love stories, right? I love to hear them because they're so kind of cute. You know, some of them are unique, some of them are funny. You know, like I was dating a guy, and then this other guy who was 10 years older, and I don't know, my ex was really possessive for no reason. And we also have a message from listener 1105 for Frank.
프랭크는 순진한 남자인 것 같아요. Innocent boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
확실히.
Very,
Innocent boy.
so very young. So
That's me.
don't get too hardened too fast. One of my favorite comments has come from listener 7604. 7604 says, we call Sophia's hubby Duk Nam or Nom because he got a beautiful and young wife. That is true. He did get a beautiful wife. And I wouldn't say young per se, but younger than him. We also have a message from listener 8987. This one's for Elvis.
생각보다 순진하네요. 귀여워요.
거짓말.
아니
거짓말
제가
아니야.
약간 8, 9, 8, 7 약간 그 메시지 보내주신 분은 아직 다 못 들으신 것 같아요.
아니.
엘비스 스토리 또 있습니다.
이야기가 아직 안 끝났어요.
Oh, yes, that's
아니
true.
얘기 아직 안 끝났어요.
프랭크는 저 너무 잘하는 것 같아요.
잘 알죠. 잘 알죠.
Right. Is there something we want to add to Elvis's story?
최근 거.
이제 첫사랑은 어떻게 되냐면은 저 기숙사학교 가게 돼서 돌아왔을 때 첫사랑은 이사 가게 된 거예요. So I went to boarding school and then I came back home. They had moved.
한국에서.
That is not really how I saw that story ending. I thought,
Yeah.
I thought, you know, I worked up my courage. I asked her out and thought.
Yeah, after I got back and I was with Courage, she wasn't there.
Oh.
What about Korea?
한국에서는 저 이제 처음에는 어학당 다녔거든요. 그래서 그 어학당 때 어디서냐면은 페루에서 온 여자 있는데 우리 사이 엄청 좋았어요. 그래서
Right.
이제 소피아처럼 우리 다녔을 때 그냥 친구로서 지내면서 우리 다른 친구들한테 사이 엄청 좋아 보여서 친구들 다 니들 연애한다 이렇게 말했었어요. So they thought we were dating. 근데 그때는 연애 안 했고 그 학당 끝나고 만나보고 연애하기로 한 거예요.
It's kind of sad.
No, after finishing the school now, we met and decided to date. Yeah, but
But I don't know why I have to wait. What I mean by sad is I don't understand why I have to wait till school is out.
yeah,
Is it you just want to focus on your studies? Like, what's the reason for waiting?
not really like 그때 전혀 연애 생각 하나도 없었어요. I wasn't thinking of dating. Yeah, so like it was just like a really good friendship. We were we were just like really connecting.
I understand.
근데
Yeah.
궁금한 거 하나 있어요. 둘 중 누가 고백했어요?
Do you guys ever really think of dating though? Like, do you think to yourself, you know what? I feel like I'm 22 now. I think I feel like I need to start dating.
그래서 그거 문제예요 사실.
Are
지금
there people who do that?
생각해 보니까 제가 그때 고백했을 거네요. 이렇게 후회하는 생각이 들었어요. 네네. 그때는 전혀 아무 생각도 없고.
맞아요. Well, I guess I would kind of be like you. I don't actively think about. I didn't actively think about dating.
Yeah, at that time. So
Is there
근데
something you want to say to her?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, listeners, yeah.
Something. You can see.
School's not out yet. We understand that. However, there might be something you would like to say to her or share with her.
of course because after we started dating, like we dated for like a year. That's not because her school is in Chonan.
Right.
Yeah, so I think the distance thing also came in as a factor, and it didn't work so well. Yeah, so we kind of lost contact. Yeah.
You can't see my mouth, listeners, but I'm frowning. I'm pouting right now. That's so sad. You just kind of drifted away. And
Yeah, exactly.
So one last question before we move on.
Oh.
I'm really curious. How did you propose? Like, I'm
propose
asking
dating or
I'm asking him of his experience. How did you propose?
How did I propose?
Yeah, to
Like-
her after
Like ask
being
her out?
friends.
oh, yeah, you mean like ask her out, right?
How you propose is a all different thing.
Did I miss something in the translation here? I was like, when did he ask her to be his wife?
Same thing. Yeah.
No,
Like
Not the same
this
thing.
you need our hug on. 제가
경험자고.
어떻게 고백했냐면은 그냥 우리 만났어요. 사실 우리 그때 강남에서 만났어요.
오, 강남.
예. 강남에서 만나가지고 얘기하다가 우리 연애하는 거 어떨까 싶냐고 물어봤죠. What about if we date? And she was like, yeah, okay.
So very casual. Yeah, okay.
How does it feel to get a yes? You know.
No, at that
Frank wants to know because he's hoping
for me
one
because,
day I'll get a yes too.
for me because at that moment I am very confident of myself. I feel very cool. I'm like, oh, okay, this is good. But when you go home, you're like flip flopping in the air, like yes.
I can just picture the two of you.
You open a champagne.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, we also have a message we want to read out real quick from listener 3642. What does 3462?
자기 나라에서 부르는 애칭 알고 싶어요. 프랭크, 엘비스. 여자친구를 부르는 애칭이 있나요? 남자친구는 저를 설탕이라고 불러요. 설탕?
Sweet.
어떻게?
Very
Honey.
sweet, like candy, yes. 3642, thank you for your message. We also have a message from listener 7653.
엘비스는 여자친구 많이 있을 것 같은데 그렇지 않나요?
그쵸?
Who is this?
Is it the one you lost track of? Lost touch with?
제가 아까 말했잖아요. 아직 안 들었다고. 많죠?
아니, I think people just talk about me anyhow. See the story.
No rhyme or reason against you. Okay, and we also have a message from 0070.
저도 롱디 했는데 현재는 그 사람과 결혼했어요.
오.
와우.
이런 거는 모범이에요.
Okay, listeners, unfortunately, we have come to the end of the radio portion here of What Are You Doing and Hello Korea for today, but you can find us back next week, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget to join us on channel GFN on NotTube to continue the action. Unfortunately, though, it's time to say goodbye to Hello Korea, but thank you for joining us. Earlier in the show, we asked you, what is the Korean word that refers to having a relationship with someone in a natural way? We gave you the choice of inmanju, or amanju, or chamanju. The answer is C, chamanju. Coming up tomorrow, we'll bring you the latest cultural news. We will have our daily quiz. Suli will be in the studio with me for foodie trends in Korea. And lastly, Gogo will be here to talk about life with family and navigating that road on Jumatop. Join us 10:05 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. Monday to Friday, right here on GFN 98.7 FM in Gwangju, 93.7 FM in Yeosu. Stay tuned for live coronavirus updates from TBS Seoul. Have a great day, and we'll meet you back here tomorrow. The last song for the show for today will be this track by Gyuhyun. It's called, do you want to read that out, Sophia?
화려하지 않은 고백.
I was never going to get that in the time. My eyes won't focus.
What is cha?
감사합니다.
Like
Okay.
the answer? What
Oh,
was
the
it?
answer.
자만주?
자만주. It's like the
자연스러운 만남 추구.
natural dating.
자연스러운
Okay,
만남.
so I'm still really interested in Elvis. I just don't know. I don't know if you're really invested in someone. How do you just, even distance-wise, how do you just kind of lose touch?
Yeah, well, I ask myself that question to this day because it wasn't really on my part.
Oh, so she ghosted you a little bit.
Unfortunately.
But to move on from that heartbreak,
Is it not because there was somebody in Gwangju?
I think
Just asking.
There's a drama right there.
Just asking. Just asking.
did he pull a Lewis? Was there someone around her that maybe has
Another good friend.
caught her eye?
You know, there is a reason why the connection gets lost on both sides.
Yeah,
on both
there.
sides.
경험은 없지만 그거는
Because there's a
당연한 거예요.
creeping guy coming around.
I think this is how we should do it. We should hear my story from Frank.
아, 프랭크가 애기 프랭크라서 요즘 조금 좀 차분해진 것 같아, 그치? 아.
아, 저는
다음에 올 때는 프랭크 꼭 만들어 갖고 와. 러브스토리 만들어 갖고 와.
과제.
어렵습니다.
아,
안 어려워서 어렵다고 생각하지 마.
에?
오늘 시험 보고 도전해.
오늘 시험 끝나고 죽고 있을 거예요. 2개 보니까.
2개?
예.
그럼 달달한 거 사서 가야지.
오늘?
잘 보라며. 공부 열심히 했냐며.
시험 잘 봤냐면.
Dating 101.
여자들은 조그만한 거 자주 챙겨주는 거 좋아하지. They don't want big one, just once in a while. They want small things.
아, 지금 교육 받는 거죠.
근데 세상에 공짜 없어. 그럼 교육 받은 거 가지고 과제 해결하고 와야 돼.
네.
달달한 거.
You got it already, Frank. That's exactly what you do. Buy them with food. Here's a cookie for you. A cookie for you. And if she ever asks you if she looks okay or she looks fat, you tell her she looks beautiful and you don't notice
Just
any
the
weight
way
gain.
you are. I love you just the way you are. That's the
아, 연애할 때는 프랭크 빼고 하자.
지금 뭔가 방송이 갑자기 연애 교육되는 것 같은데.
너무 좋죠. 무대가 꺼내서.
다음에는 프랭크 연애 교육 시키게 해가지고 하자.
일타 불러와 일타.
아, 일단 멋진 누나한테도 교육 좀 받을 거예요.
나한테? 어찌 보면 지금 자기 앞가리 하기도 힘들어.
Okay, Frank and Elvis just remember two things. A, you're right. B, I'm sorry. That's all you need. Yes, honey, you're right. Yes, honey, you're right. I'm sorry.
근데 뭐 연애가 아니라 결혼하면 결혼 얘기가
When you get married, it's gonna be a whole other.
근데 무조건 미안해 하면 안 돼.
좀.
아니야, 남자들은 미안하다 그래야 돼. 너 뭐가 했잖아. 맞아. 네가 맞아. 아, 미안해. 그래서 이렇게 하면 끝.
나중에 여자친구들 뭐가 뭐 때문에 미안한데 이러면
당황해.
평소 아빠님이 우리 프랭크한테 여봉봉이라는 애칭을 추천해준대요. 여봉봉.
여봉.
여자친구한테 여봉봉이라고 불러주래.
여봉봉.
한번 해봐.
처음 들어보는 건데. 네, 처음 들어봐요.
한번 해봐.
영?
여기 멋진 누나를 여자친구라 생각하고
영?
여봉봉
여봉봉?
안 되겠는데
안 되겠는데.
여봉봉인데 안 되겠는데 사랑스럽게 해봐
사랑스럽게 귀엽게? 여봉봉.
야 방송에서 이러고 있어야지
너무 유망하네.
프랭크는 오늘 엘비스 디스하고 끝난 것 같아 여자친구 많아요 더 있어요 이야기하면서
아니 프랑스 얘기해야 되는 것 같아요.
약간 엘비스는 자세히 모르겠지만 근데 뭔가 맞는 것 같이 생겼어요.
만날 것 같지
약간 여자친구 많은 것 같이 생겼어요. 약간 항상 바쁘니까 뭐 때문에 바쁜지 모르니까. 저 학생이에요. 저도 학생이잖아요. 근데 엘비스 뭔가 의심스럽습니다. 네. 저는 말 그대로 이노센스. 순수합니다. 네.
I don't know about that. You too. The spying side. You're all about it's like checking out potential. Yeah.
No, but I don't have my uncle here to spy for me. You know?
Yeah, it's
He's sitting right beside you, I'm sure of it.
No. The moment
This is why Elvis is single now, because he's busy, spying on your future girlfriend.
let me tell you, the
Exactly.
moment he spies, I lose.
Only if he can,
No,
if she gets
You don't
caught.
know how spies work. Spies are supposed to be in stealth mode.
Yes, you're not supposed to actually see them.
If you want to believe Elvis in your love story,
That is a strong smell.
good luck. That's a joke. But good luck. No, but you know this thing like giving flowers, you know, it's kind of a mystery to me.
Why?
I didn't have any flower in my life or give flower to somebody because I love or like her. No.
True, but there's always a first thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just pass a flower shop and you're like, girls like flowers, and you go and you're like,
Most girls do like flowers. I buy flowers for my mother-in-law and my grandmother-in-law because they like them, and I'm pretty sure the men in their life don't buy
Not
them
just
flowers.
to your girlfriend, to your teacher.
Yeah,
your,
teachers do love flowers.
yeah. Or
All girls in general, pretty much.
교수님들 대부분 남자예요.
남자예요.
안 돼요.
Even some professors might like plants, like a little tiny succulus, or you know.
You know,
Everyone needs to clean some air around their house and liven up their apartment, right?
you know, I promised myself that I would buy a flower to somebody that I like.
Right.
Only. Like kind of, let's say kind of special thing to, like a specialty for her.
But you never know, to be honest. Like, I've received flowers from boyfriends in the past, and my husband doesn't give me flowers. I don't think he's ever given me flowers. But I don't, like, if he were to give me flowers, honestly, I'd think, what did you do? What are you apologizing for? It's taken him, we've been married, 11 years, I think, this year? And, it's taken him probably 6 years of me reminding him, 2 weeks up to my birthday, to finally buy me, a birthday cake, let alone, birthday present. It's just not his style of love. So whomever you fall in love with, they're going to have a different style of showing your love. Like, my mother-in-law's constantly saying, "밥 먹자, 밥 먹자. Did you eat? Did you eat? Did you eat?" And then even on this, she'll ask, "Did you eat?" And, "Oh, by the way, you look like you gained weight," or, "Oh, you look like you lost weight." But that's her language of love. Food is her way of saying, "I love you." They're like, my family's all about a hugging or the saying I love you, being very verbal. Her family's very much about food. So you can't help whom you fall in love with, right? There's no switch that's oh yep, you meet my criteria, I will love you. And therefore how they love, whether or not they want flowers or don't want flowers. If you, this is gonna sound terrible, but if you gave me a choice between flowers or say something else, like a clean house that I didn't have to clean, or free babysitting for 2 hours, I don't want flowers. Take my children, clean my house, that kind of thing, right? So
Louis never gave me flowers.
He's pretending he can't hear you now.
들리시죠?
여보세요?
마음이 아프시네요.
아, 와이파이 없어, 데이터 없어.
데이터 없어요?
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, you don't need flowers.
Right.
Like-
You do die, and you like dry them, and you're all like, when you have like your first bouquet, and you dry it upside down, and you're like, oh, cherish forever, and then you're like, why are there petals all over?
But I would be really happy, you know? Like, the girl who would get the flowers would always be happy, I
That
think.
is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
There is that because it's it's not actually about the flowers. It's about the fact that someone's thinking about
But
you.
you, yeah.
Right.
오늘
So
내용 참 많습니다. 네, 배울 거 많아.
we could talk all day, but unfortunately, that's it. That's all the time we have.
예예예예.
여러분, 다음 주 만나요. 고맙습니다.
안녕하세요.
이었대?
연애하세요.
연애하라고? 아.